Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. We're back for another reaction video. This one is for a Game of Thrones extra. It's a special. It is the season 5, the Massacre at Hardhome behind the scenes. I just did the scene of Battle of the Bastards, as well as the loot of the gold train, whatever, something like that. I don't know anymore. Boos. This is the last of the series that I do this evening. And I'm really curious. If you want to see the next reaction video early, go to Patreon. Links in the description down below. And yeah, all will be explained if you go there. I'm really curious for this one. I hope you guys are too. It's a very, very long one. It's 28 minutes long special. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go!
Almost like an unwritten contract that we have with the people watching the show, that things will keep growing, and the complexity of the biggest set pieces especially has grown tremendously.
When you look at the giant set pieces in the show to date, most of them have been from the books, and Hardhome is mentioned in the books. We know that something terrible happened there, but we don't know what happened.
Really?
So this was an opportunity to show the audience something that is going to be fresh for everyone, whether you're a book reader or not a book reader. This is
That's
stuff
awesome.
that no one has seen.
You trust me, Jon Snow? Does that make me a fool? We're fools together now.
I'm in love with Tormund. Literally.
Thrones always felt massive to me from the start, and Hardhome feels bigger in VFX, CGI, and bigger in scale than the whole of episode 9 last year.
It's amazing, it's huge, and it's extremely ambitious, and it costs a hell of a lot of money.
True.
And it's all for the fans.
It is through everybody having that same attitude of how can we succeed?
It is very much an all hands on deck situation.
That first amazing moment where Jon Snow cut through a White Walker.
It's very
Long
different
claw.
than the other battles we've seen before, and it's way harder to shoot. We didn't know how big it was going to be until we actually got into pre-production with it.
Whenever I read anything that's like a big battle sequence, you've got to treat it the same as you treat a dramatic scene. Is like, what's the story? Whose story is it? Whose point of view is it?
This was episode 8, guys. 8 of season 6.
I storyboarded for about 3 weeks, and I storyboarded the
sorry, 5.
sequence as written originally, which was huge, which was probably 2 or 3 times as big as it is now as the thing we actually shot.
Initially, the scene was written even bigger than it was, and it just got to the point where we were up against it because we wanted to get everything and we weren't sure how we were going to do it.
It suddenly became apparent that there was a whole section of it that didn't need to be there, that was there because we were playing to the idea of a battle.
Okay.
And that made me realise that what I was really interested in and what the story was and what the thread was, is it wasn't a battle, it was a massacre.
It's not like the other battle scenes we've had, whether at Castle Black or Blackwater, where you've got 2 opposing armies coming together. Really, you've got the army of the dead coming, and the wildlings putting up resistance for as long as they can, and then getting massacred. And so it doesn't have the feel of a battle so much as a horror movie sequence.
It was a massacre indeed, but
and you don't look at it as a battle, it changes all sorts of things. And then from that, the idea came out, well, what if we also restricted the point of view? What if we only told it from just the main character's point of view, and namely from Jon's point of view, because it's Jon's story in the end. And so that's where the idea of the stockade fence came in.
We were all horror movie fans, and once he mentioned it, we all had this instinctive, immediate reaction that the thing that's on the other side of the door that you can't see is always going to be more terrifying than something you see in some giant sweeping helicopter shot.
The whites come to the fence, you hear it all, it's all about sound design, it's all about the reactions on our whites' faces, but it's not really something you see. You just catch these glimpses of them to start with, and you hold off from seeing the monster for as long as possible. So now the monster behind the door, the massacre, the point of view, the restricted viewing, all of those things started to make sense, and they coalesced into what ended up being Hardhome. We had something that was shootable, and now we had something that utilised our limitations as strengths instead of weaknesses.
There's so many ideas behind this
build a large scale
episode.
settlement
Insane.
that looks old and lived in and worn down by the elements. One of our most successful sets was Castle Black, and it served us really well over the years. It's so successful because it has that 360-degree lived-in quality.
This set is built in the same area as Castle Black is, and so when I first came here,
Really?
I went to see Castle Black, and it's a huge set. It's enormous, and I was in awe of the size of this set, the size of the pieces of timber and everything. And I looked below, and there was this set that was about 60 or 70 times larger directly below it. So that was fun.
They fucking built a whole fucking castle.
First choice. And when we started right at the start of the year, we actually thought that we'd be shooting in Iceland. We started in Iceland, and then when David and Dan wrote the sequence, I think Chris and I almost sent a simultaneous email to each other of, oh my god, we can't do that in Iceland.
The scripted activity was just too great to take the show on the road, so we had a template for what it should look like, and we will shoot backgrounds in Iceland that will extend this set, so this set will exist in a place in Iceland when you see the final product.
That is strange.
With the 3D model scan in
Wow.
Iceland, so the two get blended together. We have these opticopters that fly over and take photographs and stuff. The tiny little things, you know, like the little drones, I think, and they just fly over and they take photographs. And from the digital data from the photograph, you extrapolate the 3D model.
What the
Castle
fuck?
Black already exists within that quarry, and so
Insane.
eventually ended up being the perfect spot, right on this existing lake.
Hardhome, just by its very name, should be a tough environment. So it was just a matter of turning this location and winterizing it into an austere, volcanic black beach.
We were wanting something that was particular to the Hardhome space itself. And what that meant was our guys were able to take, you know, skins and branches and pieces of timber and things that would have been found and create these little dwellings out of them. And instead of there being a consistency amongst them all, there was also a feeling that each of them was quite separate and individual, that they had been made by the people who were actually sheltering there.
And there was a lot of sketches being done, a lot of referencing different kind of enclosures, encampments around the world, and looking at different kind of places where refugees would be.
We were looking for a different building style than we had used before. So we were looking at very sort of Nordic construction. And what that meant was that we were able to establish a building style in the huts that we hadn't seen before on Game of Thrones, with the beautiful grass roofs, for instance.
It's supposed to just feel a little bit more thrown together and repaired and older, and I mean the docks are a little bit rougher.
This is where full credit needs to go to Tom Martin, the construction manager. He is an absolute genius at finding reclaimed timber, and that timber is 100 years old, I think.
It's all real timber, and
I have a thing just sitting here like, wow.
Construction to get these materials, because the whole turnaround was so.
He's Scandinavian. You can hear it in his accent.
Done a really great job of turning what was a notion into reality.
Everything had to be positioned by machinery because it was massive. We build it for real because the action is for real.
That is just insane.
For one episode. I mean, you know, most of these sets, they're built for many episodes.
Many, yeah.
Hardhome is kind of special because it's an exterior set and it's built really for about 20 minutes of one episode.
That's crazy.
I was, and I mean this in the best sense,
I like her.
Humbled by
Like
the scale of it and the dedication everybody has to make this look fantastic.
It just sucks that she had to die in Hardhome.
Such an amazing job of conveying a sense of desperation with the Hardhome set. You sense the plight of these people as soon as you see the conditions to which they've been reduced to living.
Jon Snow's come to this place not knowing what to expect, and I think it must.
Yeah, here you can see the blue eye in Jon Snow's Longclaw wolf.
I realised they paint the entire quarry white, which is quite impressive.
It's great having so much of this stuff actually on.
Said it in one of the other videos, but
I think the best visual effects team in the world. But whenever possible, anything we can get in camera, we want to get in camera, because in the end, there's just nothing that's going to feel more real than reality.
The scale of the fence itself that gets sort of knocked over by the whites as they come in. It's a real credit to our SFX department, the way they sort of made that movable ramp, which could get pushed down and go back up again.
We talked about the stockade fence, thinking maybe we'll get some of it real and the rest will be filled in by green screen. They ended up building a real stockade fence.
That is sick.
Up there, and it looks fantastic.
The fence with 12 tons in total, and when it goes, it really goes. You know, so it takes a lot to slow it down.
It's 40 feet long. We pushed it over with hydraulic rams. The fingers of wood at each side, they have cables that run through them, which are fitted to electric releases, so that when the releases go, those sections come down as a kind of...
Wow, people on it. People on it.
One of the aspects of the effects that Miguel was very keen to have was a very strong weather effect, which comprised falling snow and fog.
The smoke machines we have are the biggest smoke machines you can possibly buy. You know, we have 5 of those.
Jesus.
It took about 3 weeks to snow this quarry. We had 2 crews here doing it.
Effects-wise,
they were crews doing
it.
it.
I think you have to get very patient with this, because the look of drones is so important that you have to get it right, and it's just as important as what you're doing.
When the smoke comes in and the snow comes in and the wind comes in, it's like so powerful and noisy and wild that
so he's even Scandinavian.
It's just, everything is just very real.
Crazy.
When you get the right level of smoke,
Never knew.
It feels like you're there, because also it blocks out all the roads and the greenery and the rest of the crew. You're in the thick of it.
The smoke itself is great, and I think the whole concept of the army arriving and bringing this weather front, this massive fog, is fantastic.
The challenge is obviously being, trying to get a consistency to the smoke, and we have some very big smoke machines here, so we can cover the wind directions and have smoke out on the water. But as in a true Game of Thrones nature, we don't let real nature throws at us stop us. So we shoot out here in plus 30 miles an hour winds and sideways rain, and the smoke just looks great. And I mean, it helps that it's uncomfortable.
Oftentimes on set with Game of Thrones, the conditions are so challenging. It's cold, it's wet, it's miserable. So when you see people being cold and wet and miserable,
they're really cold and wet and miserable.
They're not acting.
The ship was meant to get real with the fans and the snow and everything. This huge gale came in and it changed the whole energy and dynamic of the scene we were doing, and made it very Apocalypse Now.
The day we started with the attack from the whites, the weather just went crazy and it was raining like hell. So you have like 600 people standing in the rain for 12 hours a day.
Wow.
And the spirit is still high as this.
His accent is so different than in Game of Thrones.
I really like the fight.
Yeah, of course. I really like you as an actor.
Build him up, you have to just rein him back a little bit. He moves so well, he's awesome, he doesn't pull much, and the stun guys love it.
Developed
A lot of bones.
way of fighting, and in Norwegian we have this saying about the Vikings that they go berserk.
So he's Norse.
And that's what Tormund does. He just goes
full force.
crazy.
Most of the things are like Rowley is shouting, hit him harder.
Mhm.
That's my main goal and my main task.
I have a big fight sequence in this, which I'm thrilled about. Actresses don't usually get to do a lot of fighting, and I haven't done a lot before this, so I was thrilled. They'd given me a brilliant, really long fighting sequence where I get to kill off 12 huge men. It's definitely one of the harder things I've had to do, because even though we've rehearsed it really well, when you add the costume, snow, wind machines, could barely see anything, and just, when you look around and you see 600-800 people at work, you don't want to be the one messing it up.
True.
So I was definitely pumped up, but also probably the most nervous I've been in a while. Yeah.
She was fantastic. So she starts off with a sword, ends up with double axes. She's not done a fight sequence before, but she used to be a dancer, so she moves incredibly
So she
well.
has a choreography
really well.
in her head.
She's pretty tough, to be honest.
The brilliant thing is, after she's chopped off about 12, 15 grown men,
And she's blue eyes.
here comes along 6
Of herself already.
small children. And
What killed
she
her
can't
off?
bring herself to do anything, even though they're also white and end up killing
because
them.
she loved children.
Wrong about attacking children.
We were just trying to make it evil. But it seemed only
it worked. It fucking worked.
To be child whites, and David and Dan were absolutely adamant from day one that they wanted her to die at the hand of a bunch of munchy children.
Yeah.
We have something we call the mayhem sequence, where like when the whites attack us, people just try to save their lives. When the whites come, everybody wants to be on the ships, but not everybody can be there at the same time. So it becomes chaos.
It's a ladder.
It was chaos. You can't take chaos.
In terms of people on set and extras, this is by far the biggest I've ever been part of, and they're really good.
We held a boot camp and we brought in 220 extras, and then we basically taught them how to do a sword fight as a white and as a wilding or a night watch person.
The background artists on this are some of the most hard-working, brilliant background actors I've ever had the pleasure of working with. They're here for longer hours than we are.
She was sleeping.
They're in prosthetic makeup now for longer hours than we are, and they give it their all, and it's what makes a scene like this work. They're as much part of the process as any of the actors.
It would be so cool to act in one of those scenes as an extra.
The longer the sequence gets, the harder it is to include everything. So we were starting to ask, what are we going to lose? Because we just don't have enough time to shoot everything. The easiest thing to have lost would have been 1-1, the giant. But we love 1-1.
We loved 1-1, yeah.
Part of the whole battle.
Snow.
He's represented on set by a green stick, which is about 15 feet high.
Really?
Because it gives you a reference of what it's going to be. It's great for the operators because they know where to frame and how to frame.
What?
And you trust the guys to make it look great.
4-1-1, smashing through the side of the lodge.
That was
We
insane.
had a huge rig on rams and cables, and we sort of slides along a track and punches out of a breakaway section. So we took a section away, we moulded it, and made it all out of foam, biscuit foam. So
Really?
And sent it down the track to burst out, and at the same time have air cannons to blow a lot of debris.
We only have one go at testing this because it's so expensive.
Wow. Boom. Smashing a fucking white.
It's not like we can burn this place down once and walk away from it. It was a fire that had to last for a week.
What?
So we're constantly setting the place on fire, constantly extinguishing it.
Setting it back on fire.
It's trying to come up with some individual moments that are going to stand out that you remember. There's John's fight with the White Walker. We called him White Walker X.
Fucking awesome.
We wanted to make it just brutal. Like, this isn't a fight. This is just an annihilation.
We had to have these two guys fight when one of them was clearly much stronger than the other, and their swords couldn't touch for the entire fight or it was over. And so it presented all of these challenges. Well, how can you actually have a fight if that's going to happen? Unless you get rid of his sword. And so that's what we decided to do very quickly, is try and get rid of John's sword so that there could be more of a cat and mouse chase.
And he had to get it.
An out and out fight to which there'd be no match.
So awesome. Choreography was spot on this scene.
He's doing most of it himself.
Wow.
He's fighting, he runs up onto the mezzanine, and then he does his own backfall into a small box rig, which we cover in green. So he's done his own fall, which we've rehearsed.
Wow.
And then what we do, we put the double on a wire, and we decel the double into the floor, into the real floor, and then we just use a clever cut where the double hits the ground on a wire.
Holy shit.
One more beat, the White Walker would finish John off. And as it happens, John discovers something that we didn't know.
Long claw, feather and steel, kills a White Walker. Clunk!
John has a sword. He's killed a White Walker. So clearly, he's very, very dangerous, not only physically because of his prowess as a fighter, but because of his sword, and also the
He's a very big warrior.
That get from that moment. This is a very, very, very serious adversary that they could be facing.
The Night King sees this, and he sees John kill one of his lieutenants,
and
it's kind of a, well, this kid's interesting. This kid's actually
Kit.
So he's
Kit Harington. Kit.
Looking at John then when he does what he does at the end of the episode.
I think the script was very explicit about it. it says that the Night King and Jon share unpleasant exchange that is not comfortable for Jon, and we called it for ages, you know, it's a non-verbal fuck you.
I think it's a tale that Jon has never known before. I mean, they're seeing the White Walkers, and then they're seeing the White Walker King with an army of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 undead.
The final image of the Night King raising his hands, was all
in fucking insane.
And Dan, they said they wanted it to be like an orchestra.
He's the conductor,
true.
Raising his orchestra of the dead.
True, so true. Wow, never thought of that.
The makeup of the Night King is great. I was really impressed with that.
I'd seen it in previous seasons, the Night King, and we just assumed it was like a visual effect.
Gren.
And then we're all in the pop-me-up tent, and Richard walked in his gear, and I went, oh my god, it's quite frightening when he's up close.
Seeing him, you know, in barb with the contact lenses and the sharp pointy teeth and stuff. Yeah, it's scary.
This is a
Look at him walk.
place to be right now, because you have like dead people walking around. It's pretty scary.
On any one day, we've approximately got around 80 to 85 whites. We have 45 background masks, which is just like clever masks. And we have about 30 hero foreground makeups.
And you ever thought...
Very, very specific. There's a line in the script that says 10,000 whites came running.
Greg Nicotero was good.
I said running.
I mean, these guys, fuck.
That's their line. I think that's a direct quote.
In general, an average call for us on Game of Thrones is about 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
The more extensive makeups are about 4.5 hours in length.
Jesus.
For whites, we've got various stages, starting from what we call like super fresh, which are our guys who'd only been dead for a week or 2 weeks or so. And then we've got what we call mid-decomps, which and these guys they've been dead supposedly for about 6 months to 2 years or something. So they're much more extensive makeups. And we have full facial appliances. They've got sort of receding hairlines, and sort of small lace hair pieces. And then we have what we're calling our extreme green screen.
Greg Nicotero, eat your heart out.
By visual effects.
Wow.
The hardest thing for an animator, any animator of any experience level, to really capture is human movement.
Boom.
Climbing, jumping, you know, stabbing.
One of the interesting tools that Joe Bauer, our visual effects supervisor, came up with for how to do the whites was that he felt we shouldn't be trying to animate the whites just by eye, that it should always be based on a live-action performance by a stunt player. And so we worked very closely with Rowley, our stunt coordinator, to come up with ways for the whites to be doing things that are inspired by our human stunties.
I had to shoot reference that we could give to the animators, and we could circle a performance and say, this white should be doing this white should be doing that. We knew that one smashing out of the long haul was going to be a really neat moment.
When 1-1 is batting whites out of the way, we have stunties on a pull rig being thrown out of the way by our special effects.
Holy shit!
And they just did an enormous job.
It's crazy!
They provided great and organic and realistic behavior for us to copy.
Crunk.
Special effects very early on, and I said, Stuart, we need something that's this shape, that's the size of a full-scale giant, and we need to put these guys in suits with tracking markers on them, color-coded, and they need to mimic basically the moments where one is interacting with the whites.
We called it the Christmas tree. It's a 16-foot tall cone covered with padding and cargo netting. And then our stunties were throwing themselves at it from platforms. And then that performance was something that was hand rotomated.
The amount of editing in this fucking show is just insane.
Toward the behavior of CG skeletal whites.
It was a lot of fun to watch these guys in green suits whipping themselves at this fucking Bronco Christmas tree. There's a lot of that kind of craziness that goes into making something like this.
Wow.
Since Game of Thrones is such a visual effects heavy show, those guys really get involved from the first moment. And a lot of the times, even before any director or a DP comes on, they start prepping and start visualizing.
People walking by like,
the most
hi.
important thing that visual effects can bring to any project is scope. To create a wider vista than the camera can capture, than the production designer can physically create in any world.
There's two directions that we look that are very scopy. One is there's a very, very big beach that goes straight out for probably a mile at least, and then it jogs to the right out into the ocean. We had 50 ships docked offshore.
CG'd into it.
When the storm hits, it comes over the distant mountains, and it's a great way of showing just how big these spaces are and how big the storm front is. It has to look real, but it has to behave in a way that's not only unnatural, but it's also really scary and really threatening. You know, it needs to feel like.
Now you can see that they just CGI'd people in.
The White Army is actually attacking from two sides. They're attacking from the large camp and hitting the stockade wall, and then they're also coming over the edge of a cliff and just dropping down into that same.
The lemming scene.
One of the pieces of the sequence that they worked out, I think, very well is the whites, the lemming whites, we called them.
The fucking lemming whites.
Run past the White Walkers and fling themselves off the cliff. It felt like such a strong visual way to put across how implacable and unstoppable and single-minded these things were.
For the lemming
mindless, brainless
stunt performers dressed as
12.
Whites, and we did a crane move that traveled with them as they were running. And then they leap over the side.
Wow.
So we have to do an on-camera digital handoff for each of those guys, and then everybody else is CG.
Insane.
The Hardhome was emotionally challenging just in the volume, and you know it's a 22-minute epic, and every single shot is us. Every single shot. You know, we have almost 500 shots just in that one sequence.
Wow.
We added volumes of people. We had to add extra White Walkers. They all have the glowing eyes. We get very close on the Night King. We added an ice effect that looks like, you know, a layer of ice on them, plus the horns that are part of the design. We made those translucent as if they're, you know, almost
it's a chrome, right?
When the Night King raises the dead at the end of the Hardhome sequence, there were quite a few dead to be raised, and so we have a number of extras, but not nearly as many as we're going to need ultimately in the look of the final shot. So we'll handle that through tiling, where we'll take our group of extras and we'll repeat them in different places within the scene so that it looks as if there's a bigger crowd, and those are pieces that are photographed. So
you don't see that when it happens. You watch like in awe, and when you see this, you see that they actually duplicate people.
It's exciting to see these impossible ideas that were floating around in your head and on the page show up on a screen looking better than you ever expected them to look.
Hardhome was unprecedented, even for Game of Thrones. It was a challenge for every department.
All of the departments have had to, work very closely on it. You know, special effects, stunts, art department, visual effects. We're also
swing the fucking
how that place works.
burning wood stick.
It's been a real labour of love, I think, for everybody.
I always knew this was going to be a special sequence. There's always a big action piece for my character. I didn't really expect it to be that big.
Doesn't even feel like TV. Doesn't even feel
nope,
like
it's
film.
Game of Thrones.
It's real, actually.
There's a rhythm to the writing that is very satisfying to listen to. It's very satisfying to work with, and it's very satisfying for the actors to play. You know, a good script is a good script, and you can't really beat it.
It was such a beast to slay, and we're very fortunate to have such gifted people and such dedicated people working on these big sequences.
It's just probably the most intense 15-minute sequence we've ever put together, so I'm just very proud of everyone who worked on it, because a lot of people worked incredibly hard. By the time people are watching this, they will already have seen it and judged it, but we're very happy with it.
Amazing. Wow, I had to pee twice in this fucking video. Mainly because I'm drinking too much booze. I don't give a shit. It's my weekend. Let's enjoy this shit, you know? I never knew Tormund was Scandinavian, and I didn't know the girl who played the wildling, the woman who played the wildling, was Scandinavian too. I forgot her name. If I don't forget, I'll put a name in here, there, something somewhere. This was so differently filmed and put together than the other two that I did, and it was 28 minutes or something. I'm not even sure, but it felt like 5 minutes. It went so fast. It's so cool to see how they put those things together, and actually to see that they even built a fucking. They just built a whole set. I know they did it with Game of Thrones, you know, or with The Walking Dead, building a complete prison. But I didn't know they did it with Game of Thrones as well. Starting off filming it in Iceland and then going back to, I think it was in the UK. But then photographing every single detail of Iceland and then putting the set on top of that. It's just crazy, you know, to see all these behind the scenes and edits and stuff like that come to life. It's really, really crazy and insane all the same, you know, and all these great actors, and as well as they said, a good script is a good script. You can't fuck with it, you know. So it's just so cool to see it come to life. I think I've got like 10 or 20 stills to put myself as a thumbnail. The moment they said the Night King and Jon Snow making a the Night King making a somewhat of a fuck you, a silent fuck you to Jon Snow, I was just like, you know, that is just amazing. That is just an amazing thumbnail, and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use the fuck out of it. I really enjoyed this one. It was longer than the other two, but I didn't give a shit. It's Game of Thrones. I need my fix. I know you guys need your fix, and I think you're definitely gonna enjoy this and watch my reaction to it. What I'm even saying, this is the outro. You probably have already seen it. You're watching the outro now, like, what the fuck? What I just watched? All right, guys. I'm gonna move on to Westworld that I did not finish yet. Season 2, episode 10. Still need to finish the last 45 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. If you want, you could share it, like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want. If you're not already, then please subscribe. Click the little bell button, you will automatically update when there's a new video coming out. If you want to see the next Game of Thrones extra early, go to Patreon. Links in the description down below. Here, go down there to the description. Just fucking click it, motherfucking click it, and you will automatically explain what Patreon is about and stuff like that. So, thank you for watching, and I'll definitely see you back for the next reaction video. Ciao.